Welcome to Reunion Island, which, because of all the volcanic activity, has lots of hills and valleys, and it's a really pretty place to go and fly. And now you can fly there, as I've made some airports for you to take off and land at. And I highly recommend the SimHeaven overlay for this, as well, as it improves the look of the island a lot. Now, this is only in my mega folder, not at explain.org or anywhere else. The link is in the description in this video. So go there, the Explain 12 section, airports, and look for the Reunion folder. And in that you'll find a 2-page PDF to tell you what's here and about the options you have with the various sceneries. There are 8 new airports which are all designed to fit with the mesh on my ortho. They may or may not work with anything else, I've not tested it. So get the airport scenery from that mega folder, but you will also notice another folder called Reunion Ortho. Now this is the ortho which covers the whole island. It's had some improvements and the clouds removed from the images to make it look really lovely. And as that ortho is made using Microsoft Bing satellite pictures, unfortunately I can't share that. And this ortho is stored in my mega folder just as a personal backup for me. So even though it is perfect and exactly what you need, you should not download my ortho because that would be wrong. And the multi-millionaire and billionaire executives at Microsoft, that would make them sad. So once you've not downloaded the ortho, which will ensure that the scenery works properly, the airports on Reunion include FMEE Roland Garros. This is the main airport and has long runways, so you can land anything here if you fancied having a long haul flight in or out. There's a little bit of custom stuff, although it's not a full custom built airfield, but I think it looks nice enough and it's better than anything else I've found for Roland Garros. If nothing else, you'll at least have a correctly named airfield now, as Default Explain still thinks it's called Gilliot, but it has changed its name to Roland Garros. The other Default Explain airfield is Saint-Pierre-Pierrefonds. Like the last one, this is a mix of some custom built items, some library objects, some Default Explain things, and I think it all looks nice enough now, and certainly an improvement and more realistic than anything else I've found for here. And by the way, this and Roland Garros have had to have an always flatten applied or they don't work. The two airports are now fine, but that causes some issues with slopes in the local area at the edge of the flattened boundary. I've tried to hide that as much as I can, but it's something you'll just have to live with to get a usable airport. Another real place is Braspanon, which I believe is an ultralight airfield. It's nothing special, but the terminal stroke hangar building that's custom built, and it's something like real life. But if you do come here, bring something that's small and will stop in a very short distance. Next is Cambrai, where all the buildings here are custom made, so it does look something like this in real life. I believe this is technically an ultralight airfield as well, but the runway is much bigger than Braspanon, so you can land larger GA planes. The default Baron, that can just about land here as long as you're perfect. There is a separate airstrip right next to it, although I've put both of them in the same package. Tiny runway, not much there, so ignore that one and land at the main Cambrai airfield instead. That's much better. Les Oranges. I read they were going to build an airstrip here, but the most recent info I had is 2 years old. Now, I've made a runway in the spot where I believe they were working on putting one, but I don't know if the project was completed, abandoned, and even if there is a real airstrip here now, it probably looks nothing like this at all. So yeah, not great, but I've made it as it is an airstrip that might exist in real life, so you've got one here if you wanted to have a flight. What definitely doesn't exist is a total fantasy airfield called Palmistres. This is just to fill in some spaces on the island and give you somewhere else to fly to. Yeah, I think it's quite a nice GA kind of style of airfield. It's got a little apron, small cargo area, and it's all very nice. Just try not to land short and kill anybody at the market at the end of the runway. Another fantasy one is La Saline Les Bains. Again, if you only like real stuff, then don't install this one. But if you're happy to have somewhere else interesting to fly, then you'll probably enjoy it. I'm sure I'll be having a few flights in and out of here, as I think it all came out quite well, and it's an interesting and quite nice looking place to fly to. And again, gives you more options of places to land at on the island, which was the idea of building it in the first place. Then lastly is Fournaise. There's a small dirt runway if you wanted to try that, but the main point about this airfield is an interesting approach over the town. Now, once you do land, the main airfield is nice enough with room for smaller GA style planes and also some parking for jets. Now, if you use the full runway extension pass, it is possible to get smaller jet aircraft in and out of here, like the default MD-80, but only just. Though it could be interesting to try a few of your planes out and see what does fit in here. I think Fournaise looks very nice, but with it being so high, you can also have days where the cloud is below you, which is quite an interesting view as well. So, another fantasy airfield, but yeah, I like this one. And there we have it, the 8 new airport sceneries for Reunion Island. They're now in my mega folder and just waiting for you to go and download them and enjoy some flying.